Hello, and welcome to Through the Monocle. Today we will be discussing Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. As always, I'm your host, Grant Ingram, back with a new haircut better than ever. And joining me today, it is my co-host, Grant Skillen. How are you doing, Grant?
I am good. How are you?
I'm alive. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. It's been a few days. Glad to be back. Glad to be live again. It's been 2 weeks now since we've been live.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to be here. So we're talking Indiana Jones. Now, first, allow me to lead into it from the guy that brought you this and this comes this.
Yep.
And it's closer to this than this.
Yeah.
There are some things in this movie that just kind of make you go but
yeah.
For the most part, it's a solid-ish. It's an Indiana Jones movie, technically.
In theory, yeah.
Grant, do you want to talk spoiler-free about it for a moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's a 15-year-old movie at this point. It's all right. I mean, I actually didn't think it was that terrible. I mean, it's an action movie. It's Indiana Jones. Is it the best one? Probably not, but
definitely not.
But it's all right.
It's a movie.
It is that for sure, yeah.
Now, when you say it's 15 years old, I remember when this movie came out. I remember being excited it was coming out. I
5-year-old Grant, like, oh, let's go see Indiana Jones.
I didn't go see it. My family actually got it from Netflix via DVD service. So I'm gonna date myself
back
here.
in the day.
Not like anyone else would date me. So I'm gonna date myself. Netflix used to do DVDs. And it used to be a big deal. It was part of their $7.99 a month package. And yeah, we got this. I watched all the Pirates movies the same way. And I bring up the Pirates movies to say this movie feels like a Pirates of the Caribbean. For a large chunk of it, it feels like a Pirates of the Caribbean.
I can see that.
So we are going to speak with some spoilers. Now, Grant, are you a big Indiana Jones fan?
I'm not. This might be the first Indiana Jones movie I've seen in my life. I'm going to be honest.
This is the only one I've ever seen. I played the game.
Can you just... yeah, this is the one you've seen, but you've seen it multiple times, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. I have. But I was 5.
Yeah. I mean, this is probably the first one I've seen. I may have seen one before, but if I have, I don't remember seeing it. So we're going to just say this is the first one I've seen and move on. But yeah, I mean, it's Indiana Jones. It's Harrison Ford. You know what to expect. We got the George Lucas line in there too, that I've got a bad feeling about this.
I was about to say, yeah, that happened.
You know, George and Harrison just can't not do it. It's got to be in the movie.
Got to be in the movie. As do aliens for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen the wonderful aliens like Jabba the Hutt that he did on Star Wars.
Not to be confused with the human Jabba the Hutt that he also did on Star Wars.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, other wonderful aliens from George Lucas include
that being that thing.
Yeah. Or for a better view.
You know, the most duck-like human, most human-like duck, whatever way you want to go with that. Yeah.
Yeah. This movie has aliens. Now, the point of the first 3, from what I understand, playing the Lego games.
So we're talking like he's got the knowledge of this story.
I've got the knowledge. The point of the first 3 was that the God of the Bible exists, and these artifacts give you special powers. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom. They found, I believe, it was the Holy Grail. Or maybe, no, it was Last Crusade. So Temple of Doom was kind of an aside from this, but still. So God of the Bible exists, and these artifacts are real and give you powers. This one is also aliens.
Yeah.
Also aliens.
Yeah.
I did like when he survived the nuclear explosion in a refrigerator. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's a highly realistic, to sit inside a refrigerator in a nuclear blast and just be fine.
Again, it makes you kind of go,
Is that a Minecraft villager noise?
That's exactly what that is. Yeah, it's just a little weird.
Just
I talked with Taylor Murphy. I want to say probably 3 or 4 months ago. We discussed this. And he brought up the same point, but in relation to the nuclear explosion, he's like, that could have all been explained if they just said, yeah, I believe it was the Holy Grail. He drank from the Holy Grail, so he's fine. It's one line of dialogue.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just looks stupid. And makes you go, Yeah. Speaking of things that make you go, the car chase at the end of the movie. Or not the end, but sort of middle to the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool scene. Mutt, who is Indy's son, gets caught in a vine, goes face to face with a monkey. The scene continues to happen.
Mm-hmm.
About 5 minutes later, we've seen him swinging in with a bunch of monkeys, and then this happens.
That's Vidania, Dr. Jones.
S-tier hosting going on right there.
Yeah, I was about to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Yeah.
But we saw that.
Yeah.
He's swinging on vines with a monkey army. So somehow he's befriended the monkeys.
Of course, yeah. What's wrong with that?
He's befriended the monkeys. The monkeys start beating up the Soviets.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't see a problem with that? I mean, I'm pretty sure it doesn't take a whole lot to beat up on the Soviets, but
oh no, have you seen their beards? Russians, they have big beards.
Not in this movie.
That's true. That's true. I also don't understand what was going on with Mac. Was he a double agent? Or was he working for the Russians and just said he was a double agent?
A double, triple, quadruple?
Well, we went from hating him and beating the crap out of him to, he said he was with us again. Go. And again, you go,
Yeah. He's there. He's a part of the story.
And then he's not anymore.
Yeah, just like Ox. Interesting character.
Not really in the movie.
I almost said something I shouldn't, but yeah. He's a character who's there and speaks some semblance of words.
Yeah.
Somewhat coherently.
No, this movie seems like a sequel.
Yeah.
Like a fourth movie where we've gotten to know Mac and Ox and Marion.
Yeah.
Now, for Indiana Jones trivia, Marion was in the first movie. I don't believe Mac and Ox exist until this movie. So, for perspective, we meet Mac. 3 minutes later, he's the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And we're supposed to feel betrayed by that because he betrayed Indy.
Yes, exactly.
And then he's the enemy. And an hour and a half later, he's a friend again. And we're supposed to feel he's been redeemed because he's a friend again.
Yes.
I don't care about Mac.
Don't care about Mac? Come on, dude.
I just don't.
Mac and cheese is my favorite food. What's wrong with you?
I don't care about... And again, I go,
Ah.
Yeah. You know, but I agree that it was just like, okay, cool, he's a character. Oh no, betrayed. Oh no, redeemed. Anyways, we need that clip next time.
anyways.
Oh no,
we'll
anyways.
do it for next week.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was a terrible movie. Like it's action movie. It's got some decently cool action in it. Like,
I mean, it's not terrible.
no.
It's not good for Indiana Jones.
I mean, I would argue. So if I've got this pulled up, which it appears I'm stupid and don't. There we go. Where's she at? It's got a 77% tomato meter, so
looking
it's
that
a
up.
certified fresh by critics.
It's got a 53 audience score.
Yeah, I think that's a little low, personally.
Maybe. It's not a bad movie. It's just not your Indiana Jones movie. Is Indiana Jones is known for quality.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we are reviewing this because the Dial of Destiny is coming out, and it's not doing great critically.
It's doing worse. It's at what, 65% right now.
It'll come up a little bit.
Will it?
Yeah.
Will it?
I think it will. The audience score will be higher on it. I'm going to go ahead and make that a prediction. I do want to say, so the Indiana Jones cycle goes Lost Ark at 93.
Mm-hmm.
Temple of Doom at 77. Last Crusade at 84. Crystal Skull at 77. I think we're about to get...
I don't know if you could see what I was doing there, but I was given a visual representation, and after Crystal Skull, I went...
No, I mean, Temple of Doom critically rated about the same. It's just... This movie isn't terrible. It just isn't indie.
It's a solid movie, but it's nothing special, certainly.
Right.
And I mean, it's just like, oh, cool, it's an action movie, but it doesn't feel like Indiana Jones is there and he's the main character, but like he's not doing anything crazy. It's almost like everyone is almost just along for the ride while they're interpreting what the guy says.
Yep. There's that. And then this cool alien skull thing.
That's cool.
That was the villain, maybe? Like, I really don't know why we didn't like the Soviets in this movie.
Because the Soviets were manipulating. Like, the reason Ox went crazy was because the Soviets manipulated him into going crazy. And then they used Indiana Jones to bring them to the thing.
Sure.
But even then, like, what was their ultimate goal? Because it seems like everyone just wanted to figure out where it was to return this goal, basically, right?
Right. Exactly. Why do we not like
Then they return it and the aliens dippity out of there. Like,
so at the end of the movie, who's the villain?
Your mom, I don't know. Better candidate for the villain than anyone else in the movie. Honestly. The villain is the audience. No.
Or George Lucas.
That too, yeah. I don't know. It's just like it's a cool story and all, but it doesn't feel like there's a main character.
No, it just
feels like an action movie with some characters. Like, okay, there's some backstory between Indiana and Miriam. They had a kid. Shia LaBeouf. Like they're fine. Like it's the whole movie is just fine. Like it's nothing spectacular. It's a solid movie, but you almost expect at least for them to do step out and try something, and it just feels like they didn't do that.
But at the same time, it feels like they took a big swing and it just didn't connect at all. Like it feels like
what's the swing though?
Aliens
that you see for 5 seconds.
Fair. but also that's the entire point of the movie. Those 5 seconds of aliens are the rest of the movie.
Well, I guess the whole point of the movie is, oh wow, the skull does actually exist, and so does this ancient place. Let's take it there and see what happens.
But we haven't cared about the skull
Yeah.
before. We don't
And then,
care about it.
and then the aliens just leave. It's not like it'd be one thing if they get there halfway through the story, and then the aliens like come back to life, and then there's a huge confrontation between them and the aliens. Like that would be cool. Like you could set that up. You could get them there easily in time for that to happen.
Yeah.
Do something there. Have them kill the aliens in a cool way. Run them over with a huge stone. I don't know.
Or maybe then they disappear. Like even if we see them for more than 5 seconds and it's not one alien, which by the way, how were 8 skeletons one dude?
Are you judging the aliens?
I mean, here again. Like,
so stupid.
It is. But that's immediately what I thought of when I saw that. I'm like, we're going to clip this. Because for those of you who haven't seen the movie and are still here, which is presumably none of you,
yeah,
he goes, and then the Soviet woman played by Cate Blanchett for some reason, her eyes catch on even more fire and she dies. So the aliens show up for 5 seconds to kill the Soviets, as they should, and then dip out. Like,
yeah.
Like what in the MacGuffin is this?
Yeah, I mean, you could argue the Russians are the villain because of the like manipulation and the mind control that they do.
But we had a double agent manipulating them.
Yeah.
You know who the real villain was?
Who?
The anthill that killed that guy. Dude got eaten by freaking ants.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was the end of the scene.
Yep, he gone. He long
now
gone.
In the Lego games, the ants turned into a giant minifig and fought you. So my opinion of this scene until I rewatched it was that was what happened in the movie, and I'm like, this movie is so dumb. But that would have been 10 times better than the scene we got.
Yeah, kill the ants in the movie. Done.
Kill the ants and the aliens show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Instead, we just carried around this big rock, and this random woman died, and that's the movie. Yeah,
you have a, for lack of a better term, a blabbering idiot the whole movie, carrying around this skull. You got Indiana figuring out he had daddy issues, being the daddy. Like, they get married at the end. Okay, cool. Like, he's got a kid. Okay, cool. And movie. And also that kid's not in Indy 5. So, like, what the heck was the point? What the heck was Miriam's in it, apparently, but the kid isn't? It's like, that's just strange. I don't know. Because they jump back in time again. This new one goes back to the 40s. Okay, time travel is starting to get way overused. No. It's not time travel. The movie takes place before this one, sort of. Like, it flash forwards between, I want to say, the late 60s when he's old and then the 40s when he's younger. So that's why they de-age him in some scenes. I haven't seen it. It's not out yet. But that's the way I understand it to be. It's a weird choice, for sure. But also, this movie sucked, so I'm okay with it. I mean, again, I wouldn't say it sucked. It's all right. It sucked by virtue of not being interesting. Yeah. Like, I don't care. At the end of the day, I saw some things, like, blow up and a couple of guys get killed. Mm-hmm. I don't care. There is no story. Yeah, if you take away the Indiana Jones label, you're like, okay, there's some action. It's all right. It's a movie. It's solid. Like, yeah. But then you go, oh, it's an Indiana Jones movie. Huh? It's not. Indiana Jones is in it. That's the best you got. The Lego game was better. Yeah. And when the Lego game is better. While
Well, Grant's doing that.
Yeah.
I just want to say again.
Ha.
I'm proud of that clip. Of course,
Did
the
you
last
edit
clip
that together?
I did edit that together.
Do you know what happened last time you edited something together? Last time Grant edited something together, we had to take an episode down so we could edit out his horrific mistake.
Though to be fair, I don't think. I do want to say somehow we can play that,
Yeah.
but we couldn't do the other.
Yeah.
I just think Rick Astley doesn't care anymore. But
Yeah. I don't know if there's much more to say about the movie. I mean, I guess the reveal that he is the dad of Mutt doesn't even like hit very well.
because we don't know who Mutt is.
Yeah, we're like, okay, here's this kid he's been helping. And then it's like, oh, you're his dad.
In a George Lucas movie, the last time that happened must have been this guy.
Yeah.
Or maybe this guy.
Or maybe
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities. Some
that guy.
Yeah. No,
Multiple times, because Anakin even, like, I don't know if you know that theory
yeah.
or not.
I know. Yeah. Unfortunately. I do wanna say though this movie would have been better if instead of my dad's Indiana Jones, it was my mother's the car. It would have been 10 times more interesting. It's just a movie without a point, without a
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah, and like, how do you follow this one up? Like, apparently the new movie is a sequel.
don't.
Where do you go?
don't. You go back because you can't follow this one up. Like, what even happened here that needs to be followed up? They got married? That's it? Okay, well, the follow-up is they're married now.
Yeah, the follow up is the end of the movie.
They're married now. That's it. Like, that's all that changes between the one before and this one. The aliens are gone.
Hmm.
Nobody we cared about died.
And he gets a promotion.
He gets a promotion. And I guess he has a son who isn't even in the new movie. So, what's the point?
I mean, I guess you could say, you know, they found the actual crystal skull and they took it to the place, but like, they don't give us a reason to care. Because the character they use is a character that we didn't know. We didn't know the thing existed. Okay, cool.
The Russians weren't even Indiana Jones villains until this one. Before we were fighting Nazis.
Yeah.
We're fighting Nazis again. So we took a minute off from fighting one socialist power to go fight another one, and now we're back. What is this? World War II?
Apparently, yeah. Yeah. It's a movie. It's a thing that exists in the public domain.
I don't know that I'd rewatch it.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
It's not interesting enough to. I'd rather rewatch Farce of the Penguins. I really had.
Sometimes the elements get the best of them. The older penguins know that it's just a matter of time before they call out,
I'm freezing my nuts off!
I'd rather watch it. I like Indiana Jones as a character. I grew up with the Legos, the games, all that. There are other Indiana Jones games, by the way, and the new one's going to be an Xbox exclusive. Fun fact. But also, this movie sucks. Like, it just isn't. It's not a bad movie. It's just it commits the crime of being uninteresting, which when you're a movie you can't do.
Yeah, this is. I think we can agree on this statement. This is worse than any of the Star Wars movies.
I sat through the prequels.
Prequels included. This is worse than any of the movies because hear me out here. The prequels actually have like the story of the prequels you can actually see built on in the rest of Star Wars.
Fair enough.
Like delivery or what, like the prequels are extremely important in the story of Star Wars.
I agree.
Like
I will say I think this movie is paced better. The movie gets itself over with quicker.
It's an action movie. Like, it's got action, even if it's uninteresting and like, okay, who cares? It's got action.
Well,
Like,
the action is fun. It's a fun movie. I just don't give a crap the entire time.
yeah. We need to rechange the title of this to Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Who gives a crap?
No longer required.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally is completely uninteresting. And as my good friend Phil Swift says,
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So Grant, shall we go through our criteria? I know this is a short episode.
Let's just go through it. Yeah.
Is it rewatchable?
No.
No. Did it achieve what it set out to do? Which I guess was to make another Indiana Jones movie. No. Does it pass or fail?
I think this is like right on the verge, because if you're just judging it as an action movie, I think you might be able to slightly give it a pass. But because it's an Indiana Jones movie, I'm almost going to give it a fail.
It's what I believe about The Last Jedi of Star Wars. It's that same concept. It's that same thing. If it's just an action movie, it's fine.
Well, I think
this specific type of movie, it's not.
Yeah, maybe, but the difference is, like, you can make an argument the different story elements of The Last Jedi are good story elements, even though they're telling a bad story, in my opinion, or in like some Star Wars fans' opinions.
That's what I'm not saying specifically. I'm saying it's that same idea.
I'm saying this doesn't have, it has okay story elements.
Yeah.
Like, if you're judging Last Jedi as a pure movie outside of Star Wars and just the qualities of a movie, sure, it's absolutely a pass. It's a very good movie. But then in Star Wars, you have to look at it in context and go, no. This, right. I'm like, okay, if this isn't an Indiana Jones movie, it's barely a pass. It's okay. But as an Indiana Jones movie, it's a fail.
Right. So it's the same but opposite.
Same, but to a lesser degree.
Right. I think I gotta fail it. Like, again, like you said, it works as an action movie. It's disappointing as an Indiana Jones movie. It took, it took a long time. It took 20 years to get a sequel to The Last Crusade. And it took another 15 to get a sequel to this. We are now 35 years removed from the last good Indiana Jones movie. And hopefully this next one's pretty decent.
Is that talking about Raiders of the Lost Ark?
I'm talking about The Last Crusade.
Okay.
No, we are 43 years from Raiders.
From a good movie now.
From the best. Yeah. So I do want to say, before we end the show, next month we're talking about something we're not quite sure yet. I think we're talking Disney remakes, but bear with us. We're going to figure that out. Also, as of next week, we have our own YouTube channel. We'll get that published on all the Culture Nerd social stuff, all the links to all of that. But be sure to come tune in next week live, same time, same bat channel. But
a different YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, same bat time, different bat channel. And we'll be back doing the same thing. We'll talk about something. We also have an interview with Margaret Holzer this weekend on our other show. That should be out next week. If you're interested in that. And yeah, if you enjoy the show, first off, thank you. Second off, you can support us by going to patreon.com/theculturenerd, and there you'll find different tiers for different shows, a tier for the entire network. No matter what you do, how you support us, it helps to keep the lights on, or in my case, off. And we really appreciate it. As always, I've been your host, Grant Ingram.
And I've been your co-host, Grant Skillen. Thank you to each of our Patreon supporters for your support. Thank you to Jose for the logo and Taylor for the intro.
Yep. Before we end this, I just want to throw this up on the screen. You're not wrong. I wasn't going to say it, but you're not wrong. Thanks for watching, by the way. I really do appreciate it, Paul. And thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, and if you want more Culture Nerd, you can stay tuned to this channel. You can scan this QR code on the left, and if you want our other show, Much Talk About Nothing, you can scan that QR code down there on the right. Join us next week on a completely different channel at the same time, which is 7:30 Central, 5:30 Pacific, on Through the Monocles, on very own YouTube channel, as we talk about something or nothing or something in between. Have a good one, and we'll see you then.